Hey guys and gals, welcome to the channel. On today's episode, I wanted to show you guys something on this Hustler Raptor SD that I did to help it discharge the grass better. It's not gonna always be a popular opinion with everybody with this type of mower, but it's what I did and it's working well for me. So if you look at the video above here, in a previous video, we chatted about this, the Hustler Raptor SD. This is the 2017-18 model. When I picked it up, I'm not exactly sure the duration of when this, specific deck design was built or when they changed it. I got sick and tired of dealing with this poor cut quality. I've been dealing with it since I bought it new. And, I don't think it's a secret with this specific SD deck. Maybe give you something to look for when you're out there looking for mowers in general. And this isn't the only brand that's probably guilty of doing something like this. But I've mowed with $14,000 mowers. I've mowed with $4,000 mowers, and not all things are treated equally. But I can tell you what doesn't mow well, and this issue doesn't let it mow well, unfortunately. Otherwise, it's been a great machine. Long story short, I got sick and tired of it, so I got rid of the situation. The issue, the poor design. Now, just to show you what was going on, I can look back at this old video here where you can see on the bottom of the deck, this went across the opening. And if you look here on the deck now, it's gone. You're asking yourself, Kyle, why did you modify it? Well, that bar was in an extremely bad spot. Yes, is it doing some additional rigidity to the deck? Is it giving it more structural strength? Yeah, it is. Obviously, it's there for a reason. Now, they do make kits for this to convert it because obviously it was a poor design, and instead of doing the right thing and Hustler sending out these kits to their, the people who bought these, they offered it as like a $200 kit that you can buy and bolt on if you're worried about, strengthening this up. Now, I did the right thing and just whacked it out with the reciprocating saw, the Sawzall, the knife torch thing. So if you can imagine, this little feller, used to sit in here kind of like so, and you can see where, well, you can barely see where it was at. Now, did I damage the structural integrity of this by cutting this out? Certainly I did. There's no longer a supporting bar from here running over to this side of the deck. And, you can make the argument that that's a bad idea to do that. And maybe it is. I've seen, if you look at Max's Garage Mahal, I'll put a link to his video down below as well. He did such a thing where he cut this top lip down to where it was below, if I can pull this blade forward, below this blade. Now what happens as this blade comes around, the grass catches up here, and if there is even the slightest bit of moisture, it builds up here and clogs the chute. Unfortunately, all my grass is not perfect, and there's weeds in it, and weeds are wetter than grass are. It doesn't matter how dry the lawn is, it just cut poorly. I dealt with it for several years and using different blades. I bought new blades to put on this, and I thought I had the blade situation figured out with what made it work and cut better, but I was wrong. This is pretty thick steel overall, and you're gonna have to hit something really, really hard one way or another to bend this deck. And they wanted to make sure obviously it wouldn't move at all by adding the strengthening pillar to that side, but it's probably one of the worst design flaws I've seen on a mower like this, where it just catches all the grass and ends up plugging the chute up. Again, it would cut, but it couldn't. We're gonna pretend like this is fine. Like I said, you can buy this kit. I'll put a picture on the screen here. And if you're really worried about it, you can bolt it on to this section here, which kind of wraps around and strengthens this entire area of the deck. Now again, you can see right here on the side where this is just the normal plate steel where it's welded. Then they added this section here, which this would wrap around the front to strengthen it, clear over to the front deck, which runs in that same rail to add some rigidity to the entire situation. Now, obviously they added that for a reason, for structural integrity, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I've had this thing 5 years. It's got over, what does it have now? 208 hours on it. it is what it is at this point. If this lasts me another 5 years, if the deck gives out, fine. I will deal with it, add some modifications to it, bend it out, paint it. But I can tell you right now, I'm not gonna buy a kit to bolt onto it because it seems plenty strong for what I'm doing. If I somehow miss this front wheel and hit this front of the corner of the deck that hard and bend that in and smack the blades and kill the mower, I probably do not deserve to be driving this around the yard. Just saying. And I've mowed the yard 5 times since I've removed that deck Plug-O-Matic 7000 from the discharge chute, and I've had 0 issues. I even came out here one morning when it was wet just to prove my point and mowed the grass when it was wet. Yeah, now you don't want to do that, but with good sharp blades and a good mower, wet grass is fine. You know, you see professional landscaping people out there in the mornings when they're still doing the grass mowing, because if they wait all day long in the middle of summer, at least here in Iowa, they're never going to get done. So give me your guys' thoughts down below. I know some folks are very opinionated on this situation, and overall I do love this Hustler mower. I would recommend Hustler to anybody because I've had a thing for 5 years. It's really been trouble free other than just kind of poor design. My neighbor has one of these as well, and from what I can tell, he doesn't have the same discharge. I think his is a slightly different model. It's not just the SD. Again, something I'm going to look out for in the future. Pay attention to yourself, when you're out there looking for mowers. Make sure there's not a weird bar in front of the discharge. And if it is, make sure it's completely out of the way and not where the blade's going to catch it when it discharges the grass. Now, don't just do what I did and expect something to be under warranty if you bought a new unit. And, I can't guarantee how well the structural integrity is going to hold up on this, but I took the risk. This is my decision. They do make a kit, like I mentioned before. I'll put a link to it down below. And if you want to do that yourself, you can. But I don't really feel like it's needed for my situation. I don't have a whole lot of things around here to be concerned about that getting hit. I don't think the metal's just going to move by itself. There's a lot of hopping and moving around, but my yard is pretty well, pretty flat, and there's not a whole lot of. There's a few trees, but I never trim with the right side of the mower. I always trim left side around, and well, let's just be honest, like I said a minute ago, if I hit something bad enough to bend that deck in, then we're gonna have probably other problems anyways. So that's what I did. Do it at your own risk if you choose to do it, but the Sawzall in about 3.5 minutes, and it was out of there, and I've been extremely glad I did it. Vast difference on how well the grass discharges from the deck. I can leave the chute down now, and it protects from discharge from like rocks and sticks going everywhere, and it's safer. Before I had to put it up, otherwise the grass wouldn't discharge well and would plug the chute. Hope you guys found this video informative and helpful. If you guys liked the video, give me a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate that. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down, but give me some reason why. I don't mind criticism. And like I said before, if you guys aren't a YouTube family, I would greatly appreciate if you hit that subscribe button and follow along on other things like this, outdoor related items. Thanks again for stopping in. Take care of one another. Until next time, my name's Kyle. Catch you later.